This is death to mumble rap by rappers GAWNE, Math Lethal, Futuristic, Crypt, Gonna Give It To Ya. Who are these guys? Well, they're the master lyricists from youtube.com/homepage who finally teamed up to stomp down the dreaded phenomenon that is mumble rap? What do you mean by that? Mumble rap or emo rap or SoundCloud rap, whatever you want to call it, can be very broad. It's usually defined by slurred delivery and trap beats, but I think it's still broad enough to where people can see the examples I have on screen and argue about their place. Honestly, I don't know, it's not my scene. I like Lil Uzi Vert's XO Tour Life, but besides that, I'm clueless. I know mumble rap is technically a pejorative term, but I'm not here to defend the subgenre anyway, so I'll be referring to it as mumble rap throughout the rest of the video. So Anthony Fantanthony made a cringing with video on this song, but that only scratched the surface for me. Any other song I would have just ignored, but this one strikes a particular chord with me.
This a warning shot to every motherfucking little one-hit wonder rap mumble brother. Crypt and I figured it paid the bundle, so we teamed up top 5 dead or alive and bringing the rain and thunder going.
So there's this trope called the white savior of hip-hop, where white rappers try to save rap music with fast, intense flows about shooting and killing, all while trying to bring back hip-hop to its roots, and by roots they mean 98 Eminem. Think Ryan Gosling's character in La La Land, but combined with Chris D'Elia's video where he makes fun of Eminem's rapping.
Well, you don't got the stamina, you're lacking the stamina. You lack of the stamina while you're divorcing Harrison Ford and I'm in a Porsche and flowing ports while I'm on torrent. You using way too many napkins.
So in a way, I do get that vibe from this song.
Figure on a freaking detonator, incinerated and straight up eviscerated. I consider eliminating every hater in the visible vicinity like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator, fucking mobile rap exterminator.
Guess it's hard to listen when your head is filled with purpose. Break and mark the night, cause bitches like you deserve to die.
But how the fuck could I not be the illest when I feel like a villain killing anybody? A villain is still a gorilla.
Hi kids, do you like violence?
Then again, I think the white savior trope is unfair here, and not just because one of them is black. Why single out white rappers for doing this? Hobson's been doing this shit this whole career, and Lupe Fiasco's Bitch Bad is a perfect candidate for the most pretentious rap song of all time. So I don't want to label these guys as white saviors when a more fitting term is exhausting.
Everybody dies when I nuke you, screws loose, losing my mind, I'm going cuckoo. Who knew I would be the rap Babe Ruth?
Babe Ruth had more strikeouts than home runs, buddy.
King Kong, I'm probably making a song for Kim Jong, so Ching Chong, did he sing along?
I was just thinking that this song needed some racism.
Stomach rumbles, looking for something, damn, what a fuck's little pump that I'm kinda hungry.
Lil Pump is literally the only rapper they call out by name. You know, Lil Pump, the Gucci Gang guy. Yeah, he did that song with Kanye. First off, out of all the rainbowed hair rappers out there, you went after the one that didn't hump a 13-year-old girl. Secondly, is this a Dinleyville diss track towards Lil Pump? Side note, around the same time this song was released, Nick Cannon, yeah, that one, Nick Cannon made 2 diss tracks towards Eminem. Now, that's as funny as it sounds, but without going into details about the decade-old beef between the two, Em's the one who started it. So I gotta ask, what did Lil Pump do to GAWNE and his friends? Did he cut GAWNE in line at Starbucks? Does he owe Crypt $50? Did he steal Futuristic's Lunchables? I feel like the only crime he committed was the Gucci Gang.
Gucci gang, shooting range, too much rage, who this leg?
Yeah, he wrote the song where he said Gucci Gang a bazillion times. Other people have done worse.
Gucci gang, song is 2 years old, gee whiz, who would think?
Yeah, the song is 2 years old, which begs the question, why the fuck are you talking about this now? When Todd in the Shadows placed Gucci Gang as his number 5 worst hit song of 2017, he didn't review it 2 years later alongside rap critic Antoine Fantantoine, Crypt. I feel like if Lil Pump heard this, his reaction would be,
if it ain't come from one of my peers, it ain't a diss to me.
Okay, this isn't about Lil Pump, is it? Lil Pump is just a placeholder for generic mumble rappers. To the Goon Squad here, he represents all the humble mumble bumble rappers who can't match the hardcore skills of 4 rappers on YouTube you probably never heard of. Okay, but am I supposed to be impressed? Clearly it takes a lot of practice to rap this fast, but isn't this a waste of their talents? What's the point of having a Ferrari if you're only gonna race town and countries? Now, I get it. I get that people don't like mumble rap. One of the major complaints is that you can't understand a word they're saying.
You know that chopper on me. You know that chopper on me.
But do you understand any of this?
Demanding and venomous as I'm seeking to be the freaking diggity reaping the benefits when I'm
back like I'm ready, ability. Got these haters in check and leave a mess if you're thinking to step into the best to give them whiplash.
And I be the illest when I feel like a villain killing anybody. I will, I'm villain and still a gorilla while pillaging villages and building pavilions.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, hit a hood up with a psychoanalytical, metaphysical message, man, I'm making a fucking mockery.
I'm flipping and dipping and dripping and ripping. I hit him with venom and enema and enema. Hit him up right in front.
Well, yeah, at least they enunciate, but they do it at such breakneck speeds that it doesn't really matter. And it's not like they're saying anything mind-blowing to begin with.
Hostility, drop a bomb on the enemy. Artillery, blowing up your auxiliary. Hit him with the intercontinental capabilities, leaving no stability in the Middle East. Benghazi, Hillary.
Leaving no stability in the Middle East, Benghazi, Hillary. Ah, too deep. I find this line inherently funny, not just because of how sloppy it is, but it's a tag rhyme. And tag rhymes were popularized by Lil Wayne. And I specifically remember not even 10 years ago when Lil Wayne was the guy people pointed as the one that is ruining hip-hop. So GAWNE is hating on a new Easy Target while using the methods popularized by the old Easy Target. Time works in a circle. So let's lay off and move on to Futuristic, who arguably has the best verse in his song, much like how Ron White was arguably the best comic in Blue Collar Comedy Tour. Doesn't say much. Also, I think it's funny that the name Futuristic sounds very close to Future, who is often cited as the predecessor of mumble rap.
Yeah, I'm not a hater, but I call a nigga out on the shit. I see a lot of people making money off of the kids. They popping pills, trying to hide the real feel. See somebody OD and be surprised when it happens to them.
Well, yeah, there's a problem with glorifying drug abuse in hip-hop, and that's an issue when music nowadays is so easily accessible to impressionable kids. But that's not exclusive to mumble rap. Remember in the 2000s when scissor was popularized by Southern hip-hop? You remember how well that went down? And if we're so concerned about the kids Futuristic, I'd argue that the constant objectification of women in hip-hop is just as bad of an influence as drug abuse. So what, Eli? Just because him and his buddies are kind of hypocrites doesn't mean he's wrong about other rappers. I'm a straw man. That's completely right. Being a hypocrite doesn't mean you're wrong, but I bring that up because Futuristic never expounds beyond these few bars about drug abuse and mumble rap.
I'm counterculture, y'all some vultures, fuck that.
There's nothing less counterculture than calling yourself counterculture.
I'm sick of faking it until you make it. That shit don't make sense when you really broke.
Whose mansion is this again? See, I don't believe he's actually concerned about the well-being of children. The pill-popping reference was just there to make it look like the song is saying something beyond. Rappers like Lil Pump are duty heads.
I'm tired of verses without a purpose. I'm tired of guns in the videos.
Well, if you don't like guns, you won't like GAWNE's latest video. And if you're tired of verses without a purpose, I mean, A$AP Rock is still making music. Wale Chris made a whole album about guns in America. And I know that you didn't forget about Kung Fu Kenny. Wait, what am I doing? This is a lazy, rudimentary argument. Why are you criticizing mumble rappers for something that they supposedly aren't even trying to do? Are you gonna go after Billie Eilish for not singing Ave Maria? You gonna shit on Saren Kagura for not being like the beginner's guide? Shut the fuck up. This is the musical equivalent of a college freshman talking about how Twilight is ruining literature, even when they've never read anything outside of Harry Potter. By the way, what's the purpose behind these verses? In the last verse, GAWNE literally did the Peter Piper tongue twister. Oh, that's really impressive. And it means fuck all. This is a major problem with the song. They use so many words in a short amount of time just to say, I'm better at rapping than you! And I mean, in a vacuum, it's fine. Brag raps are often considered the default rap song, and it usually works well with posse raps like this. I'm supposed to think that what they're doing is somehow deeper and more valuable than the littlest of pumps, all because they enunciate quickly. I just want to throw this out there. I am not against fast rapping at all. I'll take any chance to rap Twista's Overnight Celebrity at karaoke. And one of my favorite rap songs of all time is Bus Driver's Imaginary Places. The difference between these songs and Def to Mumble Rap, however, is that Twista and Bus Driver don't sound desperate. Twista's trying to use its fame and notoriety to pick up girls. Bus Driver is talking about how Christianity is used to swindle people out of their money. The Benghazi Hillarys sound like they want you to believe that they're good at rapping. If I rap really fast and intensely, then they'll know I'm a lyrical miracle with a spectacular vernacular and I'm using way too many napkins. These guys sound like if Slaughterhouse was founded by Hobson. Okay, I'm not the first one to make a Hobson comparison, and that's not fair, but at least Hobson made a better version of this song almost 5 years ago. Ironically, I think this might be his best song. But back to the fast rap attack sack of hash rapidash habitat. They actually addressed the fast rapping stick in Mac Lethal's verse where Crypt and are posing as straw men against themselves. Either way, it doesn't pan out well.
Just because you're rapping fast doesn't mean that you're saying something.
Y'all motherfuckers rap so damn slow that somehow you're literally saying nothing.
Peter Piper, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it next up. Benghazi, Hillary, probably making a song for Kim Jong, so Ching Jong.
Just because you can rap fast doesn't mean that you can rap good.
Well, just because you can rap it all doesn't mean that your motherfucking ass should.
Hey, Miggity Mac Daddy, you didn't negate the idea that rapping fast is the same as rapping good. Or well. So what you're essentially saying is, we might be bad at rapping, but so are you, Mumble Man. Wow, that's like the end of 8 Mile, except nowhere near as poignant. Now, I've been talking shit about these guys for a while, but the one that annoys me the most here is Mac Lethal.
Oh, y'all sell tickets like Marvel movies? Well, I still hate it like Scorsese.
Okay, that was a pretty good line.
Y'all are just food from McDonald's, and I am a gourmet filet that's more tasty.
Okay, I'll take back my compliment. Really? That was worse than Benghazi Hillary. Food comparisons? One of the most overused writing tropes? You might as well start your verse with, "It was a dark and stormy night."
More crazy than a short lady trying to give birth to 84 babies in the very back of a Porsche Cayman. I bury rappers than poor pavement.
Stop the tape. This kid needs to be locked away.
Alright, I just want to take the time to talk about a song Mac released in 2018 called Turning Into My Father. It's actually a pretty neat song that parallels a father today disapproving his kid listening to XXXTentacion.
I just googled this kid on my phone to read about him. My God, I'm reading lots of scary things about him.
And a father in the 90s disapproving his kid listening to Tupac.
I just opened the newspaper to read about him. My God, I'm reading all these scary things about him.
Now, regardless of how comparable Pac and X are, it's a song about how older generations can have a hard time connecting with the youth via musical taste, and how this isn't exclusive to just one generation. And I find it funny since Mac Lethal sounds more like an old man in this song.
Kids used to want to be astronauts in space, now kids want to put tats up on their face.
Okay, boomer, I know you're technically a millennial, but you sound like your fridge is full of prune juice.
Thank. Pull your motherfucking pants up, your coochie stank. Fuck the dumbass tats on your stupid face.
Pull your pants up, you young whippersnappers. Get rid of those tic-tac-tatted faces and dye your hair a normal human color. Back in my day, our joysticks only had 2 buttons. But Eli, Turning Into My Father has nothing to do with def to mumble rap, because XXXTentacion is actually a deep rapper, while mumble rappers aren't. And I can make a strong generalization like that because I'm a straw man. Well, we've already dismissed that this is about Pump in particular, but now I gotta ask, is this about mumble rap at all? So a week before this music video came out, Mac Lethal released this.
I'm getting money, man. I'm getting money, man. I'm getting money, man. I got $6. Oh my God. Cut. Dude, what kind of rap is that? Here, try some of this. Whoa. It's go time. I'm gonna flow rhyme. I'm gonna stimulate your body in your...
This is a commercial. This is a commercial for an energy drink. Now, I'm not shitting on Mac for making sponsored content. Get that money. But it suddenly calls into question the authenticity of this song, which leads me to the most telling part.
I'd rather listen to Wu-Tang. I'd rather listen to Luke and Crypt. I'd rather listen to Futuristic, and you'd rather listen to this.
No, I would not. And wow, Wu-Tang is better than mumble rap? Is this supposed to be an astute observation? Are you sure this isn't blatant pandering to your core audience? So, look. There's this rapper called Tom McDonald. You may know him from his Grammy-nominated hit. It's a song about how Tom hears minorities talking about the oppression they face in society, and him responding with, "But what about white people?" Think the anti-Macklemore.
Yeah, I'm white, but I never put your neck in no noose. And I never burnt a cross or hit my face with a hood. I don't assume that every black's favorite drink is Hennessy. I don't dislike Tanisha because her first name isn't Stephanie. Now, what you want, a cookie?
Mac Lethal pointed out, rightfully so, that White Boy was a cringy as hell song, which made McDonald fire a diss track towards him. Mac fired with a diss track back, and McDonald did another song, but it's safe to say that Mac won that beef, simply based on the fact that he didn't write White Boy, White Boy. But in Tom McDonald's defense, as embarrassingly narrow-minded as that song was, I honestly believe that he's that stupid. What I don't believe is any of these guys care about mumble rap. They don't give a shit about Lil Pump. They don't even care who's supposedly ruining the game. This is nothing but self-promotion. This is cynically pandering to teens and young adults who already decided they don't like mumble rap but want to feel smart for liking the song solely based on the fact that it isn't mumble rap. It's like... So this may be an odd comparison, but hear me out. A few months ago, the Japanese Red Cross used the title character from Uzaki-chan Warasobitai for their promotional campaign, and there was a debate online on whether or not it was appropriate. Personally, I found the campaign insulting. I don't mean insulting to women, I mean insulting to anime and manga fans in general. Does the Japanese Red Cross have such a low opinion of us that they believe we won't donate blood unless a generic anime waifu with tiggle bitties tells us to? Oh well, apparently that's the case because a lot of people jumped to their defense while painting the backlash as people pretending to be too sensitive and politically correct. Yeah, Japan fired back. The entirety of Japan is all on board with Uzaki-chan. That's definitely not an obtuse way of looking at countries. Ooh, I'm sorry, what is this person's name again? That's what def to mumble rap feels like. It's an explicit ploy to kowtow to people who already believe in the supposed premise.
I'd rather listen to Wu-Tang.
Yeah, Wu-Tang forever in this bitch. Who's arguing that? People clearly like being told they're already right without having to do anything, so you can confirm their own biases while spitting fast flows. You'll trick them to thinking you're smarter than you actually are. This is nothing more than the aesthetic of saying something important. And it works. People clearly like this shit. Apparently saying Peter Piper picked a pepper is enough to give you the rap Pulitzer. But Eli, by making this video, aren't you giving these guys more attention? I'm not doing anything different from what they're doing to Lil Pump. Honestly, I haven't thought about Lil Pump in a long time before this song came out. So are you going to criticize them for promoting him? But Eli, they're just encouraging people to listen to better music. Good for them, but they don't get brownie points for being better than bad music. Better than is not the same as good, and mediocrity is not a better alternative to bad. We like to think of ourselves as smart, rational, logical beings, and sometimes we want to reflect that on the media we consume, but that's not always the case. Our taste in movies and music and books and YouTubers do not always tell a full picture of who we are as individuals, but we still like to think they do. So when we see a piece of media that is confirming our biases without question, it's easy to think, hey, this is smart, and I'm smart for liking it. Why should I try listening to anything else? Because not doing so is stagnation. Listen to music that you have never heard before. Take some time to listen to genres you have never considered. Hell, listen to some mumble rap, you might find something you like. But at the end of the day, we should still be critical about the media we consume, not just to weed out the garbage, but to understand who's trying to sell us the garbage in the first place. I am not saying that liking this song makes you just as bad as the almighty bleh. But I think many people defending the Japanese Red Cross would benefit from taking a step back and asking, does the Red Cross need 2D bazingas or am I being duped? Same thing with this. Do you need 4 random rappers to tell you that a subset of hip-hop you don't like is bad, or are you being played? Remember the Nick Cannon comparison from earlier? Over time, it became apparent that these were less disses towards Eminem and more commercials for the poor man's Whose Lines It Anyway. Cannon doesn't care about M, he was using M's call out for self-promotion. GAWNE, X Mac Lethal, X Futuristic, X Crypt don't care about mumble rap, they're just using their hatred for self-promotion. These are less pieces of art than they are commercials, and given the choice between them, I'd rather listen to Gucci Gang, because at least it's honest.